Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for you today. So in today's video is going to be a first part of a three-part series regarding Intel, AMD and Nvidia, the semiconductors, a very popular topic nowadays because of the chip shortages around the world. If you haven't heard, there is a chip shortage around the world. It's a very big deal because, well, everything nowadays has to do with semiconductors or has something to do with semiconductors, healthcare, your phone, cars, everything basically has maybe a component that one of those companies probably made. So we're going to talk about Intel in this video because I know a lot of people are hating on Intel because yes, they have been slacking for the last couple of years. They have lost market share regarding a couple of chips, especially GPUs, to AMD, for example, Nvidia as well. For CPUs, they have been slacking on that level as well. It's not been great for Intel shareholders or for Intel as a company as a whole for the last couple of years, but things might start to change pretty soon, and that's why I'll be making this video. That's why I'm looking at Intel as an investment, because I still believe that Intel can turn it around. You will see in this video, Intel is still the number one and the biggest one out there, still making between $70 to $80 billion in revenue each and every year. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video. Before I do so, I just want to thank everyone that has been subscribing lately. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And if you like these videos, leave it an early thumbs up, as it really helps me outgrow the channel and get my videos out there. I would also like to thank the Motley for sponsoring this video. And again, these are my views and my views only. The Motley is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me find the latest growth stock and innovative company. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services, the Full Offers. Through the Motley Fool's Stock Advisor service, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have returned over 500%. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more this year, you can visit www.fool.com/couchinvestor or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if Stock Advisor is right for you. Now let's dive into this. Alright, so Intel, like I said, bad couple of years. Everybody hates Intel, everybody loves AMD, Nvidia, probably all the other companies as well. Apple has left them. We're going to talk about Apple in a bit, but let's just look at this for an example. So this is Q1 2021, the top 15 semiconductor sales leaders. I will pull up the picture so you can see it a bit better. But as you can see, number one is Intel, still number one by quite a lot actually. Second, you have Samsung, then TSMC, which is a foundry. I'm going to talk and explain to you foundries, fabs in a bit. And if you look all the way to the right, the percentage change year over year, then yes, the only one being in negative is Intel because, well, they've not been doing great. But this again is just to show you that even though Intel has not been doing great, they are still the number one out there. So maybe right now it's as worst as it can be, and it's only up from here. Obviously it will take time, but this is something you might consider. Alright, before I continue in this video, and it's also going to help you in the next couple of videos, or if you watch another channel talking about semiconductors, for you to understand how this actually works. So there are 4 steps in the semi process, let's say. You have number one, the Fabs, which is chip design. You have Foundry, which is chip fabrication. Then IDM, which does both the fabrication and the design. And then the last one is OSAT. So for Fabs, the chip design, these are companies like Qualcomm, AMD, Nvidia, Apple for their internal use, so the M1 chip, the silicon one. Foundry, the chip fabrication, is TSMC and Samsung. And then IDM is basically step 1 and step 2, which is again Samsung, Intel as well, and I believe Micron as well. For Intel, they have now IDM 2.0. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And then OSAT, the last one, which is assembly and packaging, are to me a bit less known. It's ASE, MCAR, GSET, and SPIL. Those are the biggest ones out there. So hopefully that clears up a bit of the confusion. If you hear about fabs or fabless or foundries, what the heck is this? IDM, what's that? Now you basically know. very in short. Obviously, we can go in depth into that, but then the videos would be way too long. Alright, so like I said at the start of this video, semiconductor and the semiconductor business is a pretty big deal. That's why you are hearing this over and over again on FinTwit, on TV, on the news, etc. Because basically everything nowadays is powered through semiconductors. A couple of years ago, 25 years ago actually, 37% of the manufacturing of semiconductors was done in the United States. You want to guess how much is being done right now in the United States? Only 12%. Most of it is now in Asia, and that's a problem. That's a problem with the supply chain, and that's why they are probably stuck right now. And that's why there's a lot of investment that will be coming from the government, especially the United States government, are planning on investing $50 billion into that industry. Now here comes Intel. Intel recently announced an investment of $20 billion to build a new factory in the United States in Arizona to bring that supply chain back to the United States. And then companies like Apple, Microsoft, Qualcomm, IBM, etc. can use both maybe US supply chain and then Taiwan supply chain as well, maybe one in Europe in the future as well, to diversify and to make it a bit better for the whole world. Now, what's also special about this is that Intel will be offering manufacturing contracts as well, and this will be part of their core business. So maybe you've heard that Apple has gone to TSMC, so Intel has lost that client, pretty big client, but Apple might design their chips themselves, but they will need somebody to manufacture it. So Intel building this factory in the United States might still attract Apple back to them. Obviously, there's been some slander going on with Intel and Apple. They had some commercials out there, but according to the CEO, he says, Apple is a customer and I hope to make them a big foundry customer because today they're wholly dependent on Taiwan Semiconductor. We want to present great options for them to leverage our foundry services as well, just like we're working with Qualcomm and Microsoft to leverage our foundry. We're going to be delivering great technology, some things that can't be done anywhere else in the world. Now, even if Intel can't reach the level of TSMC in the near term, they can certainly take a big chunk of that market back to themselves. It will obviously take some time because while building factories take time, but this again is a step into the right direction. Also, in the meantime, Intel is set to outsource select CPU production to TSMC. This might be an article from back in January, but again, this is very relevant. So market analysts have reported that TSMC is set to begin making Intel's Core i3 chips on a 5 nanometer process later this year, marking the latest in a series of struggle for Intel with its leading edge process technology at both 10 nanometers and 7. Now, obviously, all of this, the IDM 2.0 that Intel is mentioning, will probably take some time. Success is not guaranteed. This is going to take some time. This is going to take a lot of investment as well. But you might guess it, the United States government will probably help them as well because, well, they will be bringing the supply chain back to the United States. They will be creating thousands of new jobs, which is great. Also for the United States government, maybe defense system, etc. It's great to have a semiconductor supply chain in the United States, obviously for security reasons as well. Now, before I end this video, I'm just going to touch on two last things. The first one being, all of this is great, but there is one big component that needs to be mentioned, and that's one very big machine that is needed for all of this to work, whether it's for TSMC, Samsung or Intel, and that's an EUV machine. And who is making those machines, you might ask? ASML, the company in the Netherlands. The company is pretty popular, have been growing revenues very aggressively this year, but in the last couple of years. They are basically the top of the line one making those machines. TSMC obviously has probably the largest fleet of those machines, but this is what you need to build those top of the line chips. And lastly, let's not forget that Intel owns a company called Mobileye. Autonomous vehicles, autonomous driving, still pretty early in that cycle, but don't forget they are a huge player in that industry as well. And as you can see here, Intel's Mobileye will launch a fully driverless delivery service in 2023. Mobileye is working with the startup Udelv to manufacture 35,000 delivery vehicles. It will look something like this. Now, what's special with Mobileye is obviously the way that their system is working. So they say here the design of our self-driving system is based on the concept called true redundancy. Unlike most everyone else, where you need to have your radar, LiDAR, and camera operating in perfect unison in order to operate. We have independent subsystems between our camera systems alone and then the radar and LiDAR subsystems alone. If either one of these subsystems is unable to properly detect an object, the other one will be able to. Then you can provide a better and safer experience. And as for the business side of it, the revenue actually grew 48% year over year to $377 million. And obviously, like with Tesla, you can expect that number to grow even more each and every year as we move forward into that segment, maybe the world accepting autonomous driving, whether it's for personal use or, like we've seen here, for delivery for commercial use. Alright, so to conclude this video on Intel and the first part of the semiconductor series, I'm actually very bullish on Intel going forward. Yes, the last couple of years have been horrible to say the least, but I do believe that right now, whatever they're doing, whatever they're planning on doing, I think is going to work. It's going to take some time, it's going to take some investment, but I think patience is key here. They are still the biggest ones out there. Intel, do not underestimate them. The name, the brand, the company, and the industry they're in, they are very, very much needed right now. As you can see, global chip shortage, their plan on investing $20 billion to again build a factory in the United States, bring back that supply chain to the United States. I believe it's a great way and a great step forward. So yes, I will be adding Intel to my portfolio probably this month. I don't know when exactly. I'll be mentioning this on Twitter. If you're not following there, Couch Investor, go follow, or the link will be up or down in the description below. And that will be it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about Intel, what you think about the semiconductor industry. Do you own any of those stocks? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And as always guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.